It got me thinking, who should Pittsburgh hire as their next head coach? And why don't you go ahead and lead us off here?
All right, so we know in the NFL they do a lot of retreads. I think that there's one retread that bears, I think, revisiting. That's Brian Daboll.
Okay.
And Brian Daboll is coach of the New York Giants. In my opinion, they let him go too early.
Yeah.
And I think that what he was working with Jackson Dart was going to be not anything crazy special, but at least viable for this franchise as they move forward. And so I like Brian Daboll as a replacement for him. Now, the key thing is who should Pittsburgh hire? Because this is if I'm talking to the Mara family, I'm like, hey, this is who not the Mara family, sorry, the Rooney family.
Correct.
I say this is who you should hire. Hire the guy that I think works well with quarterbacks. You're going to have a quarterback vacancy because it looks like Aaron Rodgers was tied with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Aaron Rodgers is coming back to the NFL period, but if he does, not with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think that you could start with a new quarterback, whether you get one out of the draft or you trade for one in free agency. And I think that getting Brian Daboll, who's kind of a quarterback whisperer, so to speak, would be the move for them. I like Daboll. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen because I feel like this is just something that we tried it with New York. It didn't work out. He's a better offensive coordinator than anything. So I think if he does get a role, he'll either be a college head coach at some point or he's going to go to an offensive coordinator role. Mm-hmm. Who I think Pittsburgh should hire is Kevin Stefanski because this is the most logical candidate for me. He's a two-time coach of the year.
That's right.
Over there in Cleveland. And a lot of people are like, well, he was the coach of the Browns. Well, if you take a look at the Browns, they're basically on the same level as the Giants right now. And that's where we're going to go to next on the top of the second hour. That organization is such a dumpster fire, and they were dealt a tough hand dealing with the whole Deshaun Watson situation. And now I believe Deshaun Watson has the largest contract in the NFL right now, at least for cap hit wise.
Right.
Pretty close to $80 million a year.
Yeah, I think it's 80 mil for the next 2 years. It's over 100 mil total, but you're right, against the cap, it is the highest for next year.
And it just seemed like under Tomlin, you hit a wall. You were plateauing, and then you were starting to come back down. He still found a way to get you into the playoffs, but it wasn't truly sustainable for the upcoming few years. And now you're going to have to find a guy, as you mentioned. I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is done. Because the main reason why Aaron Rodgers came to Pittsburgh was because of Mike Tomlin. So now I think you get Kevin Stefanski. You find your quarterback out of the draft, which could be a little bit interesting because do you actually find your quarterback out of this year's class, or do you wait till next year's, which could be one of those once-in-a-decade quarterback rooms? I mean, that class next year is deep.
Yes.
So do you roll out Mason Rudolph this year and kind of just chalk this one up as a lost season, maybe, refine I don't want to say defense because they were the most expensive defense, but maybe do you go out and get a wide receiver here or a running back or something and then get your quarterback next year?
I think so. I think you can kick the can down the road at least one more year to be able to get your quarterback. But if not, guys like Malik Willis had a good run. So I don't know if you go get him. You go get like a Mac Jones, a guy like that, and you trade for those guys.
Right.
Those are the kind of the questions I worried about. But no, you're right. The issues in Cleveland were not on Kevin Stefanski. That was on management, Andrew Berry and company.